Yo, that last line by Chris Sims was just out of pocket.
I was going to say,
like, Josh
you started
Allen,
laughing before you
Patrick
were done.
Mahomes, fair.
Sure.
Fair. No, the real question I've had to try to figure out, Joy, Will, Dave, is why in the world is Jalen Hurts not getting the credit he deserves? And I think the simplest answer is Jalen Hurts' skill set, his greatest skill set, it doesn't occur between the whistles. To me, that's the simplest answer. When you think about Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, their greatest skill sets, their ability to throw. Some throw on the run. Some just do miraculous underhand throws that go for touchdowns. But when you think of guys like Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, their greatest skill set you can't actually see with their eyes. It's their ability to make everybody around them better. Miles Sanders, first 1,000-yard rusher since 2014. A.J. Brown, first 1,000-yard receiver since 2014. Offensive line currently #1 graded in all of football. Devontae Smith likely to have a career year. Dallas Goedert on par to a career year if he doesn't get hurt at tight end. So everybody around you is getting better. You have to assume the primary contributor must be pretty good. So I think that Jalen Hurts doesn't get credit because people are only looking at Jalen Hurts individually, not realizing that a rising tide floats all boats, and Jalen Hurts is causing the tide to rise at the greatest expediency. Will Blackmon, what do you say, big dog?
Hey, that was well done, by the way. You're good at this.
See how I can take that compliment? If I were you, I'd be like, yeah, you know, I was better at that. I'm actually not that good at it. Just say thank you and move on.
But that's a lie.
Self-deprecating is Will's thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Anyhow. So.
Why ain't Jalen Hurts getting the credit?
You made a great point. Why it's being questioned is because of those exact things. It's what's in between the ears. If that was the case, I think Tom Brady should have like 10 MVPs.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because he is that outstanding. Jalen Hurts is on the best football team. He's on the most complete football team. And so I think a lot of that, people look at the things around him is why is it being questioned? Again, because of those things. But he is the MVP because he's doing the one thing that no one else is doing. He's playing perfect football. He's playing absolutely perfect football, and that's what's keeping him ahead of everyone. That is why the gap has widened. That's why he is the clear leader. Now, when you look at other teams, other players like Patrick Mahomes, why is he still right there? Why is it pretty close? Because he is athletically, he's doing everything on that team to make them successful.
Sure.
That's why Patrick Mahomes is there. But, however, he is also the reason why they do struggle a little bit. You know, he is throwing multiple interception games. If Mahomes throws multiple interceptions this next week, I think he's out of the race. And then, right, you mentioned Josh Allen in terms of what he's doing actually on the field, what you see what he is doing. But it's in between the ears that you can't put a number on.
Let me play devil's advocate or Parsons' advocate, though the devil needs no advocate. Because what Micah Parsons did, and Joy brought this up yesterday, is, well, what about the Niners quarterbacks? What about Brock Purdy? Should Purdy be in the MVP conversation? If you look the last 7 weeks, and we will throw it up so you, the viewer, can look with us. If you look the last 7 weeks, and we'll look over your right shoulder, the Niners quarterbacks and the Eagles quarterbacks. 7-0 for the Niners, 6-1 for the Eagles. Completion percentage in favor of the Niners. Passing yards per game, 10 yards in favor of the Eagles. Touchdown interception ratio, 16-1 versus 13-1. Passer rating difference is negligible. Clearly, you do not have the difference of, I believe, 400 rushing yards on the screen. But, Will, when you look at that, Micah Parsons' point is, A, the Niners are so talented that their quarterbacks will ball. The Eagles are so talented that Jalen Hurts will ball. How would you refute what you just saw right there and say, you can't make a comparison, it's about Jalen Hurts?
The rushing yards and rushing TDs. I mean, those
don't count.
Those don't count?
No.
Apparently
they don't.
They don't, right? Like, that's how many rushing TDs does Jalen Hurts have? 10?
10 on the year.
I have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
I have a question. The graphic there, it says since week 8. Mm-hmm. The season's in week 15. How week 1? How come not week 1? Why do we just conveniently cut half the season off? Because that dude over there, he's been doing it since week 1.
Since week 1, and he's like that dude over there. Just started.
These dudes over here.
Also, it's two.
Neither one of these dudes.
Oh, it's two guys.
It's two of them. So that's even more of the argument that it's the Niners team and not the quarterback.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Is the team.
Okay. Well, obviously, those 400 yards and those rushing touchdowns do in fact count.
No doubt.
They do count. And I would also push back on the mental part of it, because Burrow is certainly a leader of men, gets compared to Tom Brady, and he gets all the credit in the world. So it's not just that Jalen Hurts' best quality is that he's a leader, because other leaders get credit for being leaders. Joe Burrow's in the MVP conversation and no one's barking about it. Is anyone having a panic attack about Joe Burrow being in the MVP conversation?
No.
Would we argue that him being a leader and a winner is his best quality?
No doubt. He's baby Brady.
So that can't be it, because Jalen Hurts is getting major pushback about being in the MVP conversation, and that's his best quality.
So then what is it in your mind?
He's a dual threat quarterback. We just did it. When you're a dual threat quarterback, it's always about this section of your game that can somehow be marginalized, that doesn't count towards the statistics because you're supposed to throw the ball. But the problem is, with these assessments, is Jalen Hurts also does throw the ball. He does have games where he's thrown for over 300 yards this year. He does have a very high passer rating. He does have those statistics in the passing game, and he can also run the ball. Using the argument that he shouldn't be the MVP because he has a good team around him it's not only illegitimate, it's almost unprecedented. Think of the actual players, the quarterbacks who have won the MVP with bad teams around them. Who are they? You could argue Cam Newton, right? Bad
Yeah, it
team.
depends how you define bad.
Bad team.
But are you saying bad offense or bad team?
Bad team. Because
then
everyone
nobody.
Is,
Well,
everyone
yeah,
is saying,
nobody.
everyone is
Nobody.
saying
The
Panthers went 15-1. They weren't a bad team.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're 12-1. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't
I'm
know
with
what the
you.
rules are anymore. I can't keep up.
Don't turn on me, please. I agree with you.
You're just in my line of argument. I'm sorry.
My line of
The
argument. Write
point
that down.
is, why is it an indictment of the hardest position, the position that we give all the credit to and put all the pressure on and draft the highest and pay the most? Why is it an indictment of leading a good team throughout the season consistently from week 1 to now, having top 5 statistics in all kinds of categories, that it's a good team around you? Almost all quarterbacks who have won MVPs have won with good teams around them.
True.
What's an MVP that dragged a legitimately bad team through the season
There
to
isn't
the
one.
playoffs? So why is it Jalen Hurts' fault?
Because I think the issue people are saying is that this team will be good regardless.
That's okay, but
they're great.
let's lower.
They're
That's the
They're
problem.
great.
That's the problem
They're
I have with
great.
that Gardner Minshew statement. Aside
No,
from the fact
that's
that
a
it
different
is
story, the Gardner
very
Minshew.
disrespectful to what Jalen Hurts has done
Gardner
this
Minshew
year
is a
and the
different
numbers
deal.
that he's putting up. It is disrespectful. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't good.
They're great.
They're the best team in the NFL. They have 1 loss. They're great.
I do think what's fascinating is this, and Will, correct.
I was like, I'm not Micah. I didn't say it. the way Joe was
Line of sight. I think what's
Oh, yeah,
fascinating.
line of argument. There you go. There you go.
Always got it. Always got it for
I
everybody
think what's
right now.
fascinating is this, and we'll be conscious of who is in the room. I think what's fascinating is when you think about special, right? And as a defender, I look at the tape sometimes, not now, but when I was playing, and I'm like, yo, this dude is special. Lamar Jackson, dual threat dude. When you watch him, he's special. Patrick Mahomes, when you see him, yo, he's special. Aaron Rodgers, special. I mean, like freakazoid type plays that nobody else can make. When you look at Jalen Hurts,
Yep.
do you see that? Because in my mind, when I look at Jalen Hurts, the reason I say his greatest attribute is his leadership, I don't look at Jalen Hurts and say, man, he's got a top 3 arm. When I look at Jalen Hurts, I don't say, man, he's a top 3 runner. But when I look at Jalen Hurts, I'm like, yo, he's on the best team. I don't think he's a top 3 runner. Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, and probably Josh Allen. Now, so when I say I don't
Careful
look
who's in
at-
the room.
So when I think about it, I don't go like, oh, man, anything I see is special. What is special is the things I don't see. But is that a ludicrous statement? You've seen a lot of tape in your life. You study offenders for a living.
No, it's not a ludicrous statement because I was on record the other day just watching Jalen Hurts, and I'm just so impressed because he has that one quality that very few, not just quarterbacks, very few NFL players have, and he is unbothered. Like, you cannot move him. You cannot shake him. Like, mentally, he is so in control. He's playing Zen football right now, and that is very, very hard. First of all, it's hard to keep winning. It's hard to keep playing really good football. It's hard to keep playing perfect football. And for him to already have that team in the grasp of his hands, like they watch and look at him and they follow him.
Is that hurting him, though? The fact that when you look at Jalen Hurts, he doesn't jump off the tape like Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen, like Justin Herbert. Does that hurt him?
It doesn't hurt him because for me, he's number 1. He's in the lead right now. You got 2 people talking about why he shouldn't be MVP, but I think the overall consensus believe that he is the MVP leader.
I'm glad you phrased it that way, and I'm not directing this at you, but my answer to the question is that people are lazy, and people fall back on their priors. That's what they do. And what is Jalen Hurts? He's a second-round pick It was weird where he was drafted. Everybody was like, well, what's he going to do? Carson Wentz is already the guy there. We got to watch him for a year and a half. It wasn't all that impressive. And so you look at year 3, the Eagles add some talent, and people are lazy. Like, if you're not watching the games, if you're not taking a hard look at it, you're like, oh, he's better because everybody around him's better. And now look at guys that have won the MVP in the past. Patrick Mahomes comes in, video game numbers. This was a guy that the Chiefs traded all the way up from 27 to 10 to draft. That's how talented this guy was. Even Lamar Jackson, dual threat quarterback, first-round pick who won the Heisman Trophy. We expect that stuff. We fall back on our priors. We're like, I saw Mahomes do this in college. He's legit. He just needed the right coach. Never mind the fact that the Chiefs were loaded. They were already a really good team when he got there. They had Kelsey and Hill. You fall back on your priors. You're like, I saw that dude score 70 points on the reg in college. I saw Lamar put people in the blender every week, week after week. It's easier to believe that those guys are good. People are less willing to say that a second-round pick who had to transfer schools because Tua Tagovailoa took his job, it's harder for them to buy that he could really be that good. But all you have to do is watch him play. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the league. I don't think that's true. I think he is having a very, very special season, and any success you attribute to the Eagles has to come along with how well that he's playing. That's just the fact.
I think it has to start with how well he's playing.
That's fine. However you want to phrase it.
You don't have to be the best quarterback in the league to win the
We've
MVP.
said that before. You don't.
That's never been the case. It's not what the award is. We shouldn't even have to say it. Like, Matt Ryan won an MVP. You think he was the best quarterback in the league, or did he have an MVP season? You don't have to be the best quarterback in the league.
That's what she's saying.
Right.
There's still other guys you would have argued for.
The year Ryan won MVP.
Ooh, Brady got suspended the first 4 games.
No, that was the year before.
Year before?
You would have taken Brady. You would have taken Rodgers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. I disagree with Hurts also not looking special. He looks special to me. He's throwing the ball over the top to me. He's running all over defenses to me. His numbers certainly look impressive to me. Do we need to go down the
No, there they are. They're great.
Number 1 in passer rating, 4th in completion percentage, tied for 2nd in passing and rushing touchdowns.
People get hesitant.
1st in interceptions.
People get hesitant when I bring up the Cowboys and Eagles together, but like I saw all this stuff with Dak. Dak was a 4th-round pick, and I mean Dak was.
You don't think Dak is special either?
No, but but people again like they fall back on what they know about him. Like, well, how good can he really be if he's a 4th-round pick? And you're not paying attention to the work that's being done.
Let me ask one final question. We said that the Eagles' record is not good; it's great. I think we also, though, have to say the Eagles' team is not good; they're great. So I agree with Joy. I agree with you, Dave, when we say no quarterback has won an MVP with a bad team. But this isn't just like a good team. This is like a elite cream of the crop. You don't see teams like this maybe once every 10 years, top to bottom. Do you see a team this good? I think that is also a big part of it. Because when you think about the Atlanta Falcons the year that Matt Ryan won MVP, their best player, I believe, was Deion Jones, linebacker. Best offensive player, obviously, was Julio Jones. After that, it got a little shaky. When you think about Cam Newton when he won, Greg Olsen led the team in receiving yards, and he was a tight end. Defense, they have some dogs, primarily Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis. When you think about when Tom Brady won, outside of the year with Randy Moss, offensively, he was really making guys great. But when you think about this Eagles team, offense, defense, top three, they are a great team. I think that also is what's hurting Jalen Hurts so much, because it's not like the Eagles team is good. This Eagles team is significantly better than all teams except the San Francisco 49ers from a roster standpoint.
Jalen's also willing to win in whatever way they need him to win. Like, that's what it is. If they need him to throw less and they're going to run more, he's going to do that.
Yep.
If he has to throw, he'll do that. It's not about a statistic that he needs to reach over them winning. So that also hurts him. But I don't think it's fair to just say that the Eagles are the greatest team. We just did a segment like a few minutes ago where the Niners were considered the better roster with more it guys. So they're not even considered the best roster in the league this year. And some people would argue the Cowboys have a better roster than the Eagles.
Some people argue that?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Oh, I was like, you would?
I'm not making this up, guys. I do this for a living. I read other stuff.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Like, people, there's arguments about if the Philadelphia Eagles even have the best roster in the league.
I put it, the Eagles were not the slam dunk best team in the league heading into this season.
Thank you.
But remember, I would say going into the season, the conversation was if Jalen Hurts was as good, Jalen Hurts is a limiting reactant. I remember
Yes.
you and I had that conversation.
Yes.
So we
that's
knew
why
the
I'm
Eagles
so
had a Super
impressed
Bowl
by what
roster.
he's done.
Correct.
They are a Super Bowl favorite, and they wouldn't be if he wasn't playing great.
No, they would be because Gardner Minshew could be out.
Oh, sure.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.